Hey guys, Jack here. I'm on another mini vacation. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to spend 4 days in the woods. And I'm currently at my Basecamp 0, or the very first piece of property where I intended to make a base camp. I'm going to show you around so you can see what I'm up against. Here's my little brook. It's quite a bit deeper than it was last time I was here, which was back in August. Things look quite a bit different now that all the leaves fell off the trees. This is my little spot in the nature. As you can see, it's basically a raw site. I've done a little bit of clearing, but not much. I've got all my gear, backpack with everything I need for 4 days. I've got some food, some water, extra fuel, and some tools. I just got here. It's about 11 o'clock. This is the spot where I made a video and I had my hammock strung across these two trees. Yeah, that one from there to there. So I spent the night here in my hammock. The purpose for this trip is to not only spend some time but also make myself another shelter, and I'm thinking right here is going to be the perfect spot. It's fairly level, and just in behind the property slopes down a little bit. So I got a lot of work to do. Half of the day is pretty well burnt up just getting here and getting things organized, packed up, and trek over with the four-wheeler. I got to cut some trees down for building the frame to my shelter, and then I have to clear some trees out of this area and get building. So that being said, I'm gonna ponder a little bit and look around, and what I'm gonna do in the process is to try to visualize where everything's gonna go. I'm pretty decided that my shelter is gonna go right where I'm standing here, and a fire pit area over there. I'm cooking myself some food. While that's going on, I'm processing some firewood. I found a birch, a white birch, whatever, birch tree, fallen over there. It got blown over by the wind. It was broken, so I cut a section off, dragged it over here. I'm going to make myself a seat, but it's a lot longer than what I need. So what I've been doing is just cutting chunks off at the end, splitting them open, and drying them out by the fire, because the wood's a little wet. It was on the ground. It's not rotten yet, but it was wet, so I need to dry it out. Made myself a new adjustable pot holder. Man, I love making these things. Very convenient, so I can adjust the heat by adjusting the distance from the pot to the fire. I got some meat here ready to go in. The wood processing system composes of that two tools. Okay, I have the that cheap Colin whatever $10 Canadian Tire special in the camping section, and I'm using my Becker BK7. So I'm going to show you how effective just these two tools are. It is 4.5 inches in diameter. I like to cut my logs at about 12 inches long. It's just a nice convenient size. Check this out. This is a hardwood, don't forget. The work involved in processing wood this size more than pays for itself later on. and I get to sit by the fire and just relax and have a whole bunch of heat. So check this out. It's got another piece of hardwood as a baton. Okay. See, the reason why I like, or this size of knife anyways, my particular choice is the BK7. It's a very durable knife, as you'll see. This is a good solid, I mean, this is very hard wood. Okay, the blade is 7 inches long, and you'll notice that the cutting edge goes to here, so the whole thing is useful. Unlike my other knife, the Buck 119, which has a 6-inch blade, but only 5 inches are useful. Straight down the middle, like this. Just give it a good whack to start it off. This, check that out. Knife is very sharp. No problem. And this wood will burn for a really long time, so the payoff for the energy I just used is it's really worth it. And then I'm just gonna quarter it, I guess. Nice little blocks. No problem. This is a good knife. It's a very good knife. Alright, my fire's out. I'm running out of daylight. I got my load of lumber right here. So anyways, I gotta start building my shelter. Because if I expect to sleep in it tonight, it's gotta be built. Okay, this is just a quick look. I'm running out of time and I still have a lot of work to do. So here's what the structure looks like. Just a frame. I tied it at the top with some cheap poly cord just to get the tripod up, and then I put the pieces up and I secured it all with a strong piece of paracord. This shelter needs to be very strong because I plan on spending a decent amount of time here. It's a winter shelter. That's why it's fairly big. It's meant to support the use of a fire inside. See, if I stand straight up, I can't even touch the top. Okay, so there's plenty of room up there for smoke to gather and escape. Alright, I'm gonna continue working before I run out of daylight. First project was my fire. So this is basically the social fire, or the outdoor fire. Here's what my shelter looks like. I'm running out of daylight, and I basically have to call it quits and focus on my fire. I haven't had supper yet, so I'm getting hungry, and I'm gonna need some food, energy, some fuel to make it through the night, because it's getting cool. Look at this, 9.1, 9.4, 9 degrees Celsius. Not a cloud in the sky. That means that it's going to be a cold night. Flocks and flocks of Canada geese flying overhead. There's more. Camera's not that great in the dark, but look at all this room in here. Camera's having trouble focusing because it's so dark. But anyways, there's a lot of room, and I'm not going to make a fire in here tonight because the shelter is not finished. I have plastic still left flapping everywhere. I'll be able to watch the stars tonight. But I think I can hunker down in the corner there. I am going to use the shelter though. I'm going to rely on my sleeping bag for keeping me warm, so no fire. Except for out here, I'm going to make a fire right now. I'm going to gather some wood to get it going so I can have some supper and warm up. It's amazing how much a fire just changes the mood for the better. The temperatures drop quite a bit. It's already down to 6. Good morning, guys. This is the first morning at my new shelter. It's pretty cold. It's about 8 a.m. or so. I've been up for a while, about an hour and a half or so, and I've just been tending to my fire because my feet and my boots are still frozen, so thought I'd warm them up. Check it out. It's giving off some good heat. I'm still working off of the hardwood I harvested yesterday. Let's take a look at the temperature. I put my backpack upside down there to act as a sort of a coffee table, and I have access to a zippered pocket on the top for knickknacks and such. My sleeping bag and all that is back in that waterproof bag. I left my sleeping pad out. I took out my food out of the backpack when I was putting everything back in for breakfast this morning. Minus 1.2 indoor and minus 1.6 outside. So the remote sensor, that's the min and max. 2.9 minimum inside, 3.7 minimum outside. So I think the numbers speak for themselves. The shelter keeps the inside air temperature a couple degrees warmer anyways, and I had no fire in here. Look at this. It's not even a finished shelter. It's drafty all over, yet it stayed a couple degrees warmer than it did outside. Let's see what we got in my goodie pouch. We got some popcorn kernels, rice, sugar. Need that. What else? I'm gonna be making some bannock this morning, so I need my olive oil. It's a substitute for fat or lard or butter or whatever. And some coffee. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother with the coffee whitener. Oops. It's always good to keep things together. If you're not gonna use something, put it away so that when you actually need it, it's not lost. The water's nice and cold. That's one advantage of cold weather, is once you get used to this cowboy coffee making business, it's great. You can always have fresh brewed coffee wherever you're at. I had an extra piece of green wood left over yesterday, so I made myself a nifty fire poker. Clean the end off, easy identification, and I made a band around here to show where the handle is. It's curved, nice and ergonomic, works great. Keep me from burning my fingers. Well, the coffee was great. It's all gone. Coffee was great. I had the radio on. I was just listening to the weather forecast, and it's very favorable for the next 3 days, which is great. So I've got another 2 nights that I'm planning on spending here. I'm gonna go to the river and wash my pot, and from the looks of it, I'm running low on water, so I'm gonna have to do a water run later.